Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us for the September coaches call. I want to start off the evening with this call offering an apology. The last call, I was not doing a good job of being a good facilitator of the meeting. And I want to be respectful for everyone's time, but I also want to make sure that everyone has a way of asking questions and those sorts of things. So, there's a couple of things that we're going to do differently from this point forward. One of the things is that we have this question parking lot. So if you are asking a question, bring something up in the topic, you might hear me say, like, that's a good parking lot question. And that's going to be your cue to kind of fill out that question parking lot form. And that's to give us all time to kind of really give you the answer that you deserve. Give us some time to consider what you're asking and then get you the information that you need. Also, being respectful of everyone else's time because everyone has slightly different individual questions for their team, and trying to keep this meeting going as kind of quickly as possible so that we're being respectful of everyone's time means that we don't quite have the bandwidth to get in depth on questions that pertain to just one or two teams. So make sure that you follow up. If I ask you to fill out the parking lot, go ahead and submit that form. And one of the options that that form gives you is the ability to sign up for a one-on-one meeting with me so that we can talk about whatever it is that you need to talk about. I saw a couple of people filling out the form prior to the meeting, which isn't really kind of what's supposed to be. They were like, I don't even really know what to ask. I don't have any context. And it's like, well, it's for during the meeting. So during the meeting and after the meeting, by all means. And then the other thing that I want to kind of make sure that we have is a good set of norms and working agreements. And so we're just going to talk about, making sure we're pausing. So if someone asks a question or if someone makes a statement, we pause to think about what it is that they're saying. And then before we kind of go right into responding to it, we're sort of paraphrasing what we think that they're saying. We're posing questions. We're providing data when necessary. We're putting our ideas on the table, but we're not getting on the table with them. And we want to make sure that we provide a space for all voices to be heard, and not just a few people dominating the conversation. And the biggest is that I want everyone to be sure that they are presuming that the other people in the meeting have positive intentions. So we all want good things. And so let's presume that there's positive intentions to everything that we're talking about. All right. Is everybody good with that? Anybody have issues with those working agreements? All right. Let's do a couple of updates for important dates. So, league coach training, the only class that is not full is the last Asheville area course on October 25th and 26th. There's a couple of people who've already reached out about being on the wait list for this. I am going to go in and open up some more WFA CPR only seats so that we can get more coaches that need to recertify in there, given that we have some space that's not being taken up by those that are trying to get into WFA CPR OTBS 101. So let me know that you want to be on the wait list for this. Just make sure you put WFA CPR wait list in the subject line so I can have that and tag it. And then I will be reaching out to you with the link to register for those as soon as I get it set up. League Summit is coming up on the 18th and 19th of October at Camp Greer in Old Fort. This is going to be a great opportunity to learn about some of the new programming and resources that we've got going for season 10. It's also a way for you to collaborate with your fellow coaches and get good writing in, like we've been planning more on the bike stuff. And also, this gets you CEUs. So if you are a level 2 or level 3 coach, you are required to get a certain number of CEUs every 3 years. And so if you have been a level 2 coach for 3 years, you're about to start encountering where you can't be a level 2 until you have CEUs. So League Summit is a great way to get CEUs, and you will get more than enough to cover you for 3 years for even level 3. So good opportunity for you to get those. And the registration link is right there via TeamSnap. And then for those that are looking to level up to level 3, that required online leaders summit. There are multiples, and you can kind of see the week dates and times that those are held. You can actually mix and match. You don't have to commit to doing all 5 in one week. You can do 1 or 2 at this time. You can do 1 or 2 at this time, just whatever works best with your schedule. And the registration and information link is right there. Remember that if you're a level 3 coach, you only have to do this one time. So this is a one-time requirement to get to level 3. Once you've got it, you're good to go. And then our preseason starts on the 15th of October. And that will be when you can have those up to 6 preseason events with your team. You do need to have prior approval for those. There is a form that you fill out. You can find things like that in the coach resources section of our webpage. They'll also be linked in meeting notes and emails that go out to you as well. The preseason schedule for league level events that don't count against your 6 team level events are these dates. So 27th and 28th of September is the Student Leadership Weekend at Lake Norman State Park. 25th of October is a grit event at Sherman Branch Nature Preserve. Then November 1st is the first league event number 1. This is tentatively scheduled for Lake Norman State Park. Then NICA's Eastern Regionals are the 8th and 9th of November in Elkton, Maryland. And on the 22nd of November is league event number 2, and that'll be at Camp Greer in Old Fort. All right, I see some hands up. Jeff?
Yeah, Sean, just an FYI, I still have 2 seats left for a WFA CPR course here on the East Coast. I got 2 seats available if anybody like east of Raleigh is interested.
All right. Elise?
Hi, Sean. I noticed that the group chat is disabled.
It is?
I feel like that's a big part of community for the coaches to be able to talk to each other throughout this call. And it's helpful for people who want to add things to the conversation, but don't necessarily have a mic or have the chance to talk.
I understand. And that's why we've got the parking lot for questions for people to get feedback so that they can get their questions answered. But we will
So
not
we're
be
unable to talk to each other.
We will not be turning on the chat. No. All right, Bill Berry.
Just curious, noting the tentative plans for the access to Lake Norman. Are there details that can be shared broadly about what backup plans would be for the event?
That would be a Shell Frost question. Shell, are you on with us this evening?
I do not, because I have been given the it will likely happen. We need permission from one more person. But if we have to fall back, it will probably be on the reliable venues that we typically fall back on that have enough trail to make a good day of riding.
Understood the dilemma. Thanks, Shell.
One person's got to read their email. So registration for these events is going to open up in Pit Zone in October. So make sure if you do have student athletes that are going to NICA Eastern Regionals, they do need to be registered. So make sure that they are registered before they sign up for Eastern Regionals. Yes, Ben Harbor. I think your mic might be muted, Ben.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So did you say that the preseason started October 15th or October 1?
October 15th. October 1 is when student athlete registration opens up. October 15th is when preseason begins.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So let's go forward. So big news, league structure update. So in concert with the league board of directors, Brian has decided to accept the recommendations of the conference committee to delay the implementation of conferences for the league for at least one season. He wants to thank Nick Morosco and all the members of the committee for evaluating how the league can best expand into a conference structure. Their work sets a solid foundation for the future league director to move in this growth-oriented direction. So with that being said, that means that we will continue as we did last season with 6 events, and they will be scored as just a single league. There will be no conference structure. There will be no breakdown in scoring or anything like that. So simply, we will carry on this season as we did last season. All right, coach registration is currently open. And again, if you're looking to level up to level 3, go ahead and sign up for one of those NICA Leader Summits. And then team registration is also open. And I just want to remind those returning teams that you do still need to submit a team proposal for review prior to being certified in Pit Zone and authorized to conduct team activities. All right, I see Jeff has a hand up again.
Hey, Sean, this is
Yes.
Diane. Really
Yes,
quick. If you're a head coach and you have coaches that need to be, not recertified, but need to be reactivated, please send the email to Diane at northcarolinamtv.org. Do not send it to HICA.
It actually automatically goes to HICA. There's something in there that automatically goes. You can send that to me also. That's one of the things that I'll do is reactivate coaches. And that was the other thing I was going to talk about a little bit later is like some reminders for team directors. So I'll get to that in just a second. But thank you for reminding that. All right. So please get those team proposals in if you have not already. And I'll be going over those over the next few weeks and reaching out if I need to follow up with you on anything. All right. Then student athlete registration, that's going to open up on 1 October. And we are with that single all-in fee for $425. And you can see the linked presentation here. Can I make sure that everyone is muted? I'm getting a lot of feedback. So the linked presentation gives more information about what the single fee is and also information about payment options that you can share with your family. So I've had a couple of coaches reach out wanting to get more of this information. So if you will see that linked presentation, and then if there's some other question that you have that's not covered by that, you can certainly reach out to us. Yes, Bill.
Sorry, I pulled the trigger a little early there. Can you remind me with the calendar and the timeline around student registration? When is it important that 8th graders moving to 9th graders that you know what teams they're going to? And is that something that happens before the registration opens, or is that something that happens after the registration opens?
That's a great question. If you'll hold on to that for just a second to where I get to the team director reminders, I've got that in my notes to touch base on. So yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. That's a great question. So I want to make sure that I cover it. So if I don't, definitely hit me up again. All right. So those preseason activities can begin on 15 October. There is the preseason activity approval form. You don't have to have all of them planned out like from day one. You can submit it if you've got a couple in mind, and then you can submit again if you want to do a couple more. So just remember that that's a good way to do it. One of the things that we really want to be mindful of and that we'll be looking at is if you're planning try it out events, that those try it out events are appropriate for student athletes that have never had contact with NICA. And so one of the things that we've seen is we've seen teams in preseason going out and riders being injured. So you can imagine if your first try it out event with a team, you get injured, that sort of sours you on NICA. And so we want to make sure that we temper our enthusiasms to match the expectations that we can have of riders that we haven't really seen on the bike. So doing things in short course, things like that, those are really great ways to sort of gauge everybody and see where they're at and give them a good positive experience with that try it out event. So be mindful of that when you're submitting those things, and we'll reach out to you if we want to follow up on things. A reminder that the category placement table is released. So I've already had one parent reach out about, how do I even know what category they're going to be in? The category placement table will give you that information, and you can see what the rules were to place last season's athletes into the published category placement table so that you can kind of see what the rationale was. And you can also make informed decisions about what you're going to do petition wise if you are looking to either upgrade or downgrade a category. It's another useful tool that you can use to kind of see how a student athlete will perform in a different category. All right. And then the Trek Pathfinder scholarships, those are about to close on September 19th. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. So here is the landing page for the Trek NICA Pathfinders applications. So definitely, if you have some families that you think might benefit from this, go ahead and get on that in the next day or so that you can get those in. All right. Bill Berry. Team director reminders. All right. Student athletes and coaches that are moving teams. Everyone can fully register and they can be moved after the fact. So don't register yet. I got to get you on the right team. Have everybody register just like normal. And then just let me know who needs to move where. And I can kind of help out with that. If you need help, if you've got a kid on their team that you know is going to another school, we can kind of figure that out together, what team they should be on, or just letting me know the name and I can kind of figure it out from there. So the more information you can give me, the quicker I can get it done. If you have coaches that are participating with a team, coaches can actually be on multiple teams. So you can re-invite coaches from a new team. And as long as it's under the same email address as their current NICA license, all of their stuff will carry over. So if, like for me, if I were to be licensed under my normal email account, seanmoore1@gmail.com, but then a team invited me using a different email account, then that appears to Pit Zone like a completely new Sean Moore coach that needs to do all of the trainings and start out as a level 1, as opposed to the existing Sean Moore coach that has trainings that they've got to do in order to recertify their level 3. So make sure if you're going to have a coach on multiple teams, it's under the same email profile. That's the only caveat to that. Are there any more questions about that? Another, go ahead, Bill.
I have a new question. Going back to registration and noting the offer of there being a payment plan. Mm-hmm. It looks like those details are still TBA. How will payment plan information around people registering in Pit Zone and Pit Zoning asking for credit? What do we expect the rollout to be there about payment plan details?
So this is a Diane LeBlanc question because she is our guru on the payment plan. So Diane, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Sean. So Bill, in response to your question, we payment plans can be done through PayPal. But there is a resource that shows parents how to do that. It's pretty much already done. I just have to talk to Sean or Brian about getting that rolled out so that you have that information to pass on to the parent. And I hope that answers the question, Bill.
I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. And that's helpful to know. It'll be seamless. It sounds like for someone going in to register in Pit Zone, that the interface itself will put people in the right direction for making that happen, is what I'm hearing.
Right. And basically they will have to shoot me an email and say they want to do the PayPal payment plan. And then I have to invoice them. So that's what that's going to look like.
Okay. I appreciate the heads up.
Thanks, Bill.
The big thing on this process is if a parent is going to do the payment plan, they shouldn't be like kind of doing that Thursday at 3:00, intending to show up for an event on Thursday at 4:00. Like it's not that quick. It's going to take a couple of days because there's a little bit of back and forth. So let them know like they need to do it well in advance of being practice ready. And that'll be the big thing for our team directors, is making sure that all student athletes are practice ready. So that's another big team director reminder. And another team director reminder is making sure that all of your coaches are fully registered and fully licensed and are fulfilling roles at their license level. So maybe they've been a level 3 for 3 years, but now they've decided not to re-up their WFA and they're back to level 1. They don't get to continue doing all the things of a level 3. They now are doing things of a level 1. So that's another responsibility for team directors. And one of the constant things that I hear is team directors saying, I just keep having to stay on coaches to finish their registration. And that's exactly what you have to do. And if they show up and they're not good to go, you tell them, we really need you. Thanks a lot. Go home and finish up and be here for the next time, because we can't have you here without this. So no one can participate as an adult that is not fully registered in Pit Zone unless they have never been a part of NICA and are doing that one-time waiver as an adult. So you get one time. And if you are on a one-time waiver as an adult, you are chaperoned by one of your level 2 or level 3 coaches at all times in the course of that practice. All right. The other team director reminder that I've been getting a couple of emails about this, and it's like, we need you to switch these team roles. This person's now the head coach. This person's now the team director. Your team director has all of that ability. So your team director goes in and makes all of those team role changes in Pit Zone. So that is a team director kind of ability and role that they need to fulfill. If your current team director is stepping down as team director, they need to go in and change everybody's roles to where they are, and then they make themselves not team director the very last thing. Because if you make yourself not the team director, then you no longer are able to do any of the team role changes. So make sure. All right, Chris Novak.
Just to be clear, it used to be the head coaches can also do that. That is no longer. Is that what you're saying?
I think the head coaches can still do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
it's
in the
usually
new
head
Pit Zone.
coach, team director, but I know that team directors definitely have that. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to find that thing in Pit Zone and it wasn't quite working out, so I wasn't sure if something changed. But
yeah, you have to go in and click on the person's name, and then you'll see on the left it'll say team roles, and that's where you click, and then you edit it.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem. No, it may very well have disappeared because we're Pit Zone 1.5 at this point, so I have no idea. Bill Berry.
My questions may belie that I may have spent some time in Pit Zone. Are there new roles for coaches in there? I saw something about communications I did not recognize as a coach role in Pit Zone.
That's interesting. Ringing a bell? I was in there the other day and I didn't notice, but I also wasn't when I go into Pit Zone, I'm like doing something very specific. So I was not necessarily paying attention. I'll take a look and see. I know that they added the adventure and the grit and the TTC roles. So communications, that's a new one on me. So interesting.
Go check it out.
Yeah, I will. That gives me more homework. Thank you, Bill. All right. Student leadership pathways. So this is something new, and Shell, I want to turn this over to you so that you can do your full explanation of student leadership pathways.
Sure, thanks. So we have 2 new student leadership pathways this year. Applications for all 4 will open on October 1st. And I have a document that's linked in the agenda that gives you details on all 4, including the dates applications open, when they close, a link to the applications for each one, which will not open until applications open, but that's where you can find them at that point. And then there's documents for each with parent and coach information as well to make sure that you know what your student athletes are signing up for. So the 2 new ones will be Student Leadership Council and Trailblazers, which will fall within with Adventure. And then we'll also have Teen Trail Corps ambassadors and Grit ambassadors as well.
All right. And then as always, the regular season will start on December 1st. And we're going to publish the season schedule as we open up registration for student athletes in October. So you'll see it around that mid-October date. It may be slightly after League Summit so that we can sneak preview everything at League Summit. But it will be around those dates. All right. Yes, Jamie.
Thank you. Quick question. In Pit
Yes.
Zone, I need to switch from being a coach from one team to being a coach for the other team, and it's locked. There's a lock sign on the team when I'm going to register as a coach. How do I
That would
switch teams?
so do you see both teams in your pit zone? You just see the one?
Just the one, and I can only when I can't click on it because it's locked.
That would be because that team hasn't actually registered. So
Okay.
it's locked down from that. So as soon as they get in and register, and then if you contact the team director of the other team, they can send you an invitation to join that team under your same email address. All right.
Great.
Yeah, no
Thanks.
problem. Laurel.
Sorry to go back a minute. This is a question about the payments.
Yes.
And I noticed that the multiple like multiple kid per family discount is in the scholarship form, scholarship application. Can you talk about timing on that one, what we should advise people and like flow on how they should do that?
That's a great question. So we're going to kind of what I would say is go ahead and have them fill that out if they're going to take advantage of the multi-student athlete discount, and we can go ahead and start applying those credits. Brian, Diane, is there a different way that you want everyone to handle this, or is that good advice?
No, the scholarship process is the process. The advice you gave about the PayPal installments is the same. It's going to take a few days to receive a scholarship, review it, and send that parent a decision. So, yeah, please don't submit that, an hour before you want to take your kid to practice. Give it a few days. I think we said 5 working days on the website when I made that update. I think that's what we'll aim for. Just, caveat, the person that approves scholarships is the league director. There's a new one coming. So, I'll do my best to get him or her up to speed, but it might take just a little bit to get up to speed in October before we hit full stride with that.
All right. Other questions for the benefit of the group? All right. Awesome, everyone.